I almost feel bad for the guy.
Stay focused.
I am focused.
Things are gonna start to get better for you.
You work for bad people. I don't think you can survive that.
Gringo.
Once again, immigration is starting to dominate debate in the U.S. Senate. The majority leader of the Senate, Mitch McConnell, is allowing free debate on the floor. He hopes that will result in a deal that can reach the president's desk and get his signature. Senator David Perdue is a Republican from Georgia. He's the co-sponsor of a newly introduced Secure and Succeed Act. It basically reflects the immigration priorities the president laid out in a State of the Union address. A path to citizenship for 1.8 million dreamers, coupled with $25 billion for border security, a wall, lower family-based immigration, and an eventual end to the diversity lottery. Senator Perdue joins us tonight. Senator, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for doing this.
So this is a question that just dawned on me because I'm a little slow. I thought this was a debate about DACA, which is like 600, 700,000. And then the president's talking about legalizing 1.8, 2 million. Where did the extra people come from?
Well, this started several weeks ago. Actually started a year ago when Tom Cotton and I, and you've been on your show a couple times about that. We started a year ago talking about we have an opportunity to fix the immigration system. And when the president decided a couple months ago that he wanted that Obama had done the incorrect thing by the executive order regarding DACA, then he moved and said he's going to put that back on the plates of Congress. And so that's where we are. So we've been working feverishly to follow up on his agenda that he laid out several weeks ago in the White House when we had Democrats and Republicans in the White House talking about how to fix this immigration system on the legal side, the legal immigration system. So and that's where we are.
If we legalize 1.8 million, put them on a path to citizenship and voting, how can we be sure it stops there? Previous amnesties have drawn a lot of other people. How do you stop it at 1.8?
Well, first, this is not an amnesty. And second of all, if that's all you did, you would not end this
How is it not an amnesty?
Well, because these are people that have not actually violated the law. But here's the issue. The issue is the president made a bold move. He put this out as an offer if and only if he gets the 4 facets of this framework that he laid out. And that includes the end of diversity lottery, end of this linked chain migration that we have, and border security. So those are things that would preclude us from being back here again in just a few years.
Right. So this is, to immigration hawks, this seems too moderate. But to a lot of Republicans in the Senate, it seems it's too fierce. Can you get united Republican support for this?
Well, we're finding out right now. But this is a bill that is supported by the American people. 2/3 of Americans want to end the DACA situation. They want to end it. They also want border security, end of chain migration, end of diversity lottery. 71% believe immigration should be based on the worker, the immediate family, and the spouse alone. And so this president has reached out and has got a bill, or we've got a bill that the president will sign into law and actually will assure us from being here again just in a few short years.
So who would, among Republicans, who would vote against this, and on what grounds? On what grounds could a Republican be against this bill?
Well, some people will say, well, we don't support a pathway to citizenship. Well, this is a price to pay to end this nonsense right now and to get to a solution that will keep us from being here in just a few short years. Most of the Republicans that I know will back this bill the way we have it.
You get any Democrats?
Well, we hope so. We're going to find out. It'd be really interesting to see if they'll vote against this solution, what they've called for before. The interesting thing right here is that over the last 30 years, Democrats in different forms have actually asked for these same facets that the president has outlined in this framework. And as early as in the 90s, Barbara Jordan headed up a commission that Bill Clinton received that called for an end to chain migration.
Of course. I get the noted white supremacist Barbara Jordan. It's ridiculous. Senator, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good to see you. Jose Magana is an immigration attorney, and he joins us tonight. Jose, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Tucker.
So the president, as you know, has put on the table, and Republicans you just heard from the senator are willing to back up legalizing, giving amnesty to 1.8 million people who came here illegally. If that happens, if Trump does sign a bill giving citizenship to these people, will you vote for Trump? Will anybody in that group vote for Trump?
So, Tucker, I can't vote for Trump because I'm actually a DACA recipient. I've been here for 30 years. I have 2 U.S. citizen brothers. I'm a small business.
I'm very aware of that, but I'm including you in that. So if this goes through, you will get a path to citizenship.
Unfortunately, this won't go through, Tucker, because the plan that the White House has proposed simply has no legs. I've met with hundreds of Republican offices in the House and in the Senate. There's not 18 votes in the House, and there's not even 50 votes in the Senate.
There's no doubt that a lot of Republicans on the Hill are adamantly in favor of open borders. That's why these people are here in the first place. I mean, you don't need to convince me of that. So, but I don't want to argue the politics of it. I want to argue the principle of it. What matters? What's right and what's wrong? What about this bill is unacceptable to you?
So I want to know what happened to the President Trump that campaigned during 2016 who promised to be an advocate of legal immigration. This framework would radically cut legal immigration to levels not seen since the Great Depression.
That's not true,
it's
actually.
Absolutely
levels
true.
not seen since 1995,
Since
but whatever.
$1920.
You get the wrong numbers. But look, I'm not going to get them in your face. The point is, this bill does what specifically that you think is unacceptable? Chain migration stays. It's limited to the nuclear family, but you still get to bring your nuclear family. They just can't bring a lot of other people after them. Should they be able to? I mean,
well, President Trump himself during the campaign promised that he would put a big, beautiful door at our nation's border for legal family immigration.
So this would bring, we get 500, let's just say 500,000 legal immigrants a year. What should be the number if that's not enough?
So right now we have about a million, actually, that
little
get
over a
green
million,
cards.
right.
I think the number should be slightly more. I think during S744,
Should be what? 'Cause why?
I think 1.5 million, 2 million, because immigration makes this nation consistently great. You know, 86% of the American public, including 79% of registered Republicans, want the Dreamers to stay here, but not
But
via
actually,
the deals that the
no. I mean,
president
as long
is
as you're going to
pushing
throw
forward.
poll numbers around, with which I'm familiar, there's no group of Americans that wants 2 million legal immigrants a year. I mean, Pew just polled this 2 weeks ago. People want less legal immigration.
But
whatever.
86% want the DACA recipients to stay, but not under the deal that the president has proposed.
And
which
that's
has
bad.
no-
Why? He's giving citizenship to people who came here illegally, 2 million of them, and that's racist because why? Exactly. No, I'm serious. Like, what specifically?
The president has had an opportunity to make a bipartisan deal on this, but he rejected the Graham-Durbin proposal, which would end the diversity visa, reduce family immigration, and fund the
But
wall
what's
with
wrong
billions
with
of
this?
dollars.
Look, please don't get political with me. I just want to talk about the policy. Like, what about this specifically? So this would prevent people from bringing their relatives who aren't part of their nuclear family. Do you think that people should be able to come here legally, get amnesty, citizenship, and then bring who? Grandparents, uncles, cousins? Like, what do you want specifically?
I think our system is incredibly restrictive. Already, you can't sponsor grandparents, uncles, cousins. It takes decades to bring your family here, and often they can't come because of collateral provisions in the INA. So we have a restrictive system
So
already,
you should be able to bring, you should be able to come here illegally, get amnesty, then become a citizen. You didn't go through the normal path. You snuck in the country. You're here illegally, but we give you amnesty, and you should be able to bring your cousins, your uncles, and your grandparents. That's what you believe.
Most of those normal paths are actually being eliminated by the White House immigration proposal. If this White House is so committed to legal immigration, why does it try to end it?
No, but these are people who came here illegally. We have no duty to keep them. We could deport them, including you. No offense. I'm just saying, like,
I hope you wouldn't deport me, Tucker.
Well, lots of countries deport people. Lots of them. Dominican Republic, Japan, Israel. A lot of countries do it.
But we don't set our immigration policies based on other countries.
We don't. I'm just saying we have no moral responsibility to deal with people who aren't citizens, because our responsibility is to citizens. So people sneak in here. They're here illegally. We give them citizenship, and it's immoral not to let them bring not just their parents and their siblings, but their grandparents, their uncles, as you said, and their grandparents. That's your position.
So this proposal actually would affect even individuals who come to the United States legally and want to sponsor their family. I thought the Republican Party was all about family, but this essentially makes it easier to break families apart.
Well, but you don't have to come here if you don't want. I don't know if you knew that. You don't actually, it's our country, and you don't have to come if you don't want.
It's my country too, Tucker.
No, I don't think it is, because I don't think you're a citizen, are you?
I'm not, but
No, then
I've
it's
been
not
here
your
for 30
country,
years.
actually.
I own
Sorry.
property in D.C. I
That's
have
great,
2 degrees. I am a small business owner. You want to kick me out, Tucker?
The basis of a country is citizenship. It's something against you personally. It just has to be that way, or else it's not a country, right? Do you understand
Absolutely.
that?
So let's create additional legal channels for people to be able to bring their close
How about we
family
decide
and
who
get that
comes? How about we
citizenship?
don't let people who come illegally bully us into bringing their relatives? How about we as Americans decide who makes the cut and who doesn't?
Actually, we already did. Congress did that over the course of the last 100 years, has established a firm family
It's
immigration
falling apart.
system
Thanks.
that we're trying to dismantle
Thanks to
now.
a bipartisan effort to bring in cheap labor. Thank you, Jose. Good to see you.
Thank you, Tucker. It's always a pleasure.
Good luck, Stan. President Obama's official Smithsonian portrait is the masterwork of an artist whose prior work includes decapitated people. Mark Stein will discuss that with us. It's unbelievably weird. If you haven't seen these pictures, don't go away.